I want to begin this video by taking accountability. What I did was unforgivable, and I'm paying for my actions. I am so sorry I didn't include Applejack in this video, and I will be taking the video down as well as my channel, and I'm sorry. Okay, that was a joke, and no, I will not be deleting this video for anyone who liked it, even if I know that now I can do it so much better. But I am proud of that video and grateful for everyone that watched it and enjoyed it. Thanks for that. But in that video I did get some interesting comments, so I thought, why not make a sequel to that video going over some of the characters that I forgot to talk about and finally completing the LGBTQ roster of characters in MLP. Also, happy June everyone! Let's begin with one that I actually forgot about, Sunset Shimmer being bi. Now, the reason why this one took me by surprise is because I genuinely forgot that Sunset was confirmed to be bi by one of the writers, which I think is just neat. But Equestria Girls is one of those things that I saw once and I genuinely forgot about a lot of the things that happened in the show, movies, or even comics, including this one. Yeah, but aside of that, I don't have a lot to say about this one, so I'm sorry. So this one confused me the first time that I read it. There were people telling me that Sip was a non-binary character, and this confused me because I never remember this being confirmed in the show, or comics, or movies, or anywhere. But it turns out that it was supposed to be, as it was mentioned and confirmed in the G5 show's Bible, which, you know what? That's actually awesome. Although I wouldn't have known because if I'm honest, I didn't read the show's Bible. But I'm glad that it was an actual thing and not a rumor. Another one that I forgot. Kinda. In the video I said that this character in G5 was probably the only non-binary character in the franchise, or at least the only one that was actually mentioned as non-binary, but apparently that's not the case, as one of Sakura's friends was also a non-binary character, which surprised me because I really didn't remember any of them being mentioned or confirmed as LGBTQ. But apparently there was one, and you wouldn't guess who it is. Dust Devil. Yeah, I was as surprised as you because aside of one single panel, there's no other indication or mention they're a non-binary character. And even then, aside of their pronouns being they, them, there were no other indications they were a non-binary character, not even by the writers, which is why I chose Cherry. They're a character that not a lot of people talked about or even knew, and one that I feel is still massively underrated. But I guess, fuck G5, right? I mean, G4 is the best thing ever, so why bother talking about something different and interesting, right? Okay, so I feel very ashamed of myself on this one. Rarity is one of those ships that I adore. I think it's cute and it fits so well, and also is canon to Equestria Girls. And the reason why I like this ship more than others is the fact that it was actually developed. Unlike many other couples, these two didn't get together immediately. We see how Rarity first develops a crush on Applejack, and we see how she deals with these newfound feelings in a very realistic and relatable way, which is incredibly surprising because we're talking about the MLP of all franchises here. But one that is very effective and one of my favorite main 6 ships in G4. So why didn't I talk about it in the video? Well, that's simple. I forgot about it. But like I said before, Equestria Girls is something that I don't rewatch that often. Now that I think about it, maybe I should. But I'm more surprised that not many people commented that I forgot about this one, so you're as guilty as I am and I don't want to hear about it. No, Caramel is not trans. I know there's people who still believe in this old fan theory, but it's not true. Caramel was a stallion that appeared in G4 and went through a lot of different changes in the run of G4, and one that everyone remembers was when he transitioned into a mare, making him one of the first trans characters in the show, and even being confirmed by Lauren Foss herself. Or so you would think. Yeah, the reality is that Caramel never really transitioned into a mare, and in the simplest way. The reason why fans think that Caramel is trans is because of Hasbro's cheapness, and in reality Caramel is just a very popular mold. So is Kuralu. and so are others. But for some reason, fans still believe that he is a trans character, and I don't mind that, but one thing is fanon and another one is just the facts. Also, leaving angry comments about how I forgot what essentially is a headcanon is very annoying. Also, at the time in the show, background ponies weren't their own characters, so the possibilities of the showrunners hiding something like this is very unlikely. Okay, let's talk about the ship that kind of inspired this whole video. Applejack is a ship that began as early as 2011, although back in the day it was considered more of a crack ship than anything else. But so were a lot of the main 6 ships initially. But fans didn't really mind and inspired a lot of fan arts and fanfics, and a ton of fans who attached themselves to this ship. Maybe a little bit too much. Something I wasn't expecting was the amount of comments that told me that I forgot this ship, and I'm still receiving comments to this day, but not all of them were bad. Some explain why this should have been included in the video, which, thank you, I appreciate you. Sadly, that was the minority, and a lot of them were very interesting to say the least. And if you like this ship, that's awesome. My problem is not with the ship, but rather the fans that treat it like it's a religion. For some reason, there's fans that are very passionate about this ship to crazy amounts. I've seen people who get mad or even defensive if you dare to debate about this ship, and no, I'm not talking about the canonicity of the ship. No, I'm just saying if you dare to say, hey, it's probably not my favorite ship, but I don't mind it, you'll get lambasted because of it. Because apparently you can't like other main 6 ships because they're not canon. I mean, I mentioned this ship in my first crack ship video, and that was enough for some fans to write angry comments about, even if I didn't say anything that bad about the ship in the first place. And the reason why I didn't include this ship in the video was because everyone knows this ship, like everyone. I bet even people that are not into MLP knows this ship. And the goal of that video was to include characters I felt would be more interesting to talk about, because I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of the ones that I'm talking about in this video don't have anything that interesting to talk about. And that also goes to Applejack. And if I'm honest, I think Applejack came out of nowhere. And also, I don't think it's 100% canon.
I heard you was talking shit, man! Hey, bro, I heard you was talking shit!
And before you murder me, hear me out. People were telling me how one of the writers of the show confirmed on Twitter that this was a canon ship. The problem is that I couldn't find any evidence of this tweet even existing. Now, maybe I didn't search hard enough, so if you could leave that link in the comments, I would appreciate that. But that's not the only thing. Another thing being that the voice actors confirmed that this ship is canon, which, okay, would be enough evidence for some people. Not me, for the simple fact that they're voice actors, not the writers or producers of the show, and I doubt they talked about it with them. And in my opinion, just because a voice actor says something is canon doesn't necessarily make it 100% true, because no, bickering like a married couple is not enough proof, because are we forgetting that that was their entire dynamic? Like, I wouldn't even say that that's proof of this ship being canon, because that's something that wasn't only shown in the epilogue. We saw this multiple times in the run of the show. Like, me and my friend Cub bicker all the time, but that doesn't mean that we're together. That's just our dynamic as friends. So, what I'm trying to say is that, well, there's no 100% proof that this ship is actually canon, at least if we view it from a production standpoint. I don't think that means that you can't enjoy it or ship it. Again, I don't mind if you like the ship, but I'm just kinda tired of people defending it like their life depends on it. There's other ships out there, and not everyone will share your same opinions, so let others enjoy their ships in peace. Well, hopefully the Applejack shippers are happy now. Probably no. And finally, let's end with one that, while I didn't forget, for once, I have some questions. Why do people hate the idea of Trixie being trans? No, seriously, this shouldn't be that big of a deal, but it is because of some fans. Yeah, you, the ones with the Dorito crumbs all over them. Now, while yes, the reasons that I gave in that video weren't necessarily the best, but Trixie is one of the few characters that has this little detail, with the other ones being male characters like Big Mac, King Sombra, Snips and Snails, and others. But believe it or not, Trixie is not the only male character with this detail, because we also have the Maniac, Granny Smith, and Nightmare Moon. So maybe Trixie is not the only trans pony in MLP, although some were. I get why people were telling me that Trixie isn't necessarily trans. But at the same time, what's so bad about that? Again, is it really because of Trixie's personality, or is it because fans just hate the idea of her being trans? Again, I always saw this as a headcanon or theory or fan preference than anything else, mainly because of this tweet. Yet I've seen some... Okay. I've seen a lot of fans treating fans who like the idea of Trixie being trans like they're in the wrong for liking this, which they're not. Hear this, you unemployed fat piece of shit. People can have different opinions and they can like whatever they want. And if you don't like it, guess what? You don't have to engage with them. Because I bet if someone did that to you, you wouldn't like it. It makes zero sense why people get so angry over the identity of a fictional horse. But hey, I guess because Trixie's an annoying character, that makes it all okay, right? If you think that, get out of my channel. In here we support Trixie being trans and I'm not ashamed of saying that. But there you go, every MLP LGBTQ character I forgot. Hopefully you're happy. Oh, who am I kidding? People are going to hate me over this video. But hey, before you do that, what are your thoughts on these characters and what other characters do you consider LGBTQ? Go nuts in the comments. And hey, if you're here, it's because you liked the video, so why not consider subscribing and leaving me a like, as it helps me tremendously. And maybe joining the Discord server, pretty please? As for me, take care, stay creative, and I'll see you in the next video.